Hey, this is Charles Onyett with IGN. I'm here with Anthony Gallegos.
Hello.
And we are checking out Crysis 3. Now, I know there's a multiplayer beta that people have been playing. This is actually the single-player portion of it. Yeah, that guy, that guy did not do so well right there in his trying to stop the nanosuit. So this is from the single-player portion of the game. This is from the earlier parts of Mission 4. And we're going to see some of the stealth gameplay, some of the bow combat, as you saw right there, and basically just how the game works when you're playing through the storyline, because I think that is what a lot of people look forward to when they think of Crysis.
I love the bow in Far Cry. It's like my favorite weapon, and the bow in this looks even way more powerful. That's awesome.
You can do some customization with the bow, and there you can see, oh, we have a guard coming over to inspect. Doesn't see me because I'm stealth, and he's probably not going to live very long. Well, there he goes. But the guy up top actually got pinned to the wall because I have the draw weight all the way back on the bow, so you can adjust kind of how much power you're going to put into each shot. And when you do hit someone, you can go retrieve those arrows. So you can see on the screen little arrow icons all over the place. So if you're using a non-explosive type of arrow or something like that, you can go basically pick it back up.
And so I noticed that you're using your suit powers a lot in this clip to, well, up until right at this moment. But I mean, obviously, you can use your suit powers to play stealthy if you want.
Yes. So the way it works in Crysis 3, and if you're a long-time Crysis fan, you'll know that the suit mechanics have changed over the course of the franchise. So in the first game, here we go. I'm gonna pick that arrow out. There he goes. So in the first game, you could pick more powers, basically. So you could turn on suit speed, you could turn on strength, or cloak, or armor. And in this one, the active abilities is armor and cloak, and that's what you have. And then you can jump really high and use strength basically as you do things.
Right, it just draws from your suit energy as you do it.
And as you can see, when you're stealth, yeah, you can't stealth indefinitely. You have a limited time. What you see here, just while this is happening, is using the suit visor to actually scan the battlefield to find items, like that arrow right there, or also peg enemies. So all of the enemies that appear as triangles, you can see when they're red like that, the whole triangle is red, that means they see you.
Okay.
So you know that is basically someone you need to take out immediately. So you can help identify who is the more pressing threat. And then if they're yellow, it means they know something's up. You can see there's also a threat meter in the bottom of the screen that shows the general awareness of enemies. And if they're gray, it means they have no idea what's going on.
And
so
I've
that
noticed
they're not going to be creeping around like this, because they're basically sort of looking for you.
Right, I've noticed that they've added things to kind of, even though you're using stealth a lot, they've added like the water effects to kind of allow enemies to track you a lot easier. Like it seems like you create these ripples and then the enemies are like, what's that?
And you have more ways to notice enemies as well. I actually have, you're not going to see it in this clip, but yeah, see, those guys were unfortunately not paying attention as much as they should have. But I have a mod on my suit where I can actually see enemy tracks as they're walking around. So if an enemy has already walked by, and maybe you can see kind of where he's gone. You'll see that coming up. I'll point it out. But as you do play through the game, you will gain suit upgrades that you can modify yourself with like that. This is actually the hacking game, mini game through the visor. It is possible to fail that if you screw up the timing when you actually stop those moving dots. If you don't stop them in the correct places, you can fail. But I was successful there and basically turned that turret friendly. You'll have an opportunity to do that with not only the turrets, but also mines that are littered throughout this level. You can see here with the hexes on the side of the screen, this actually means that armor mode is active. So my armor is on right now, and that helps for more straightforward gunfights. And also you can see my strength playing into that, where I just basically toss that guy. If you do have if you do have a single enemy, usually it's pretty efficient to either try to, well, cloak and sneak up on them and try to do a silent knife kill, or basically just run up to them with armor on, grab them, and then throw them, because it's essentially also an instant kill. Here you can see another hacking mini game.
It seems like the hacking's pretty useful though, as like a distraction, or potentially like, it could help turn the tide in a fight too if you can take a really important machine gun on your side.
Yeah, I mean, while I was playing, I hacked everything that I came across. It was much better than trying to waste explosives or ammunition on trying to take out turrets and things like that. I will say, and maybe you've noticed from here, the environments are pretty open in Crysis 3. So Crysis 1, you know, it wasn't an open world game. It was not like a Far Cry 3 type of thing. But the environments were very large.
Yeah, you had a lot of room to roam.
So there was a path you ran through, but you had a lot of space to spread out. That was condensed pretty dramatically from the first game in Crysis 2, so that it did feel like more of kind of a directed linear type of experience. There was still some room to run around and explore, but not nearly as much as the first game. It seems like in Crysis 3, Crytek has built those battlefields out again so that they're not as confined. At least from the first few missions I played, they did not feel nearly as confined as they did in Crysis 2. Nowhere close to Crysis 1 levels, but I mean, I like that direction for the franchise. I appreciate being able to, there you can see the marks on the ground as that guy was walking.
Yeah, I think it's nice because it gives you, like, they give you all these really cool suit abilities, and so if they give you the space to kind of just, like, solve how you're going to take on the situation, it really allows those suit powers to, like, flourish.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even though you're not necessarily making quite as many decisions about which suit power to have active as you were in Crysis 1, you're still able to put those to use, I think, more effectively, it feels like, in Crysis 3. And I actually really like the bow because I was playing more stealthy. So the bow came in very handy because you don't have to, I mean, you can attach, I don't know if I'm going to open the menu here, but you can attach different like silencers, scopes, things like that to your weapons. So if you want to play silent that way, you can, but the bow is of course always silent. And you can also put like explosive tipped bows. So one of them has like a delay blast, so if you hit an opponent with it, it'll, you know, take out anyone in the area. So it can be really, really effective for clearing out an otherwise extremely dangerous battlefield. Here you can see I just hacked a couple mines, so those explosives are no longer dangerous to run across. And again, I mean, I don't know why I wouldn't do that. Yeah. It seems like that's just something that should happen. If you ever see anything hackable, you should, there you go. There's the mine that would otherwise have been exploding at me right now, which it is not. And I believe there's actually an enemy who decides to, I don't know if he decides to.
I think he's like, I'm gonna go head out there. The mine should be safe. They're still on our side, right, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the AI, oh, here he goes. I don't think he realizes that, well, he does now, or not, because he was taken out by the mines that I'd sort of flipped over. The AI does seem better than it was in Crysis 2. Crysis 2, it seemed like, especially when you're fighting Ceph, everyone seemed to have a really difficult time adjusting to when you went into stealth, basically. Yeah. Everyone would freak out, they would get clustered into areas that they shouldn't have been, and it felt kind of broken at times, but in Crysis 3 it seems to be better. I ran into a couple glitchy moments, but it seems that they've done a bit to improve the AI, and I was not playing on the highest difficulty setting, so I don't know if that necessarily changes when you ramp it up. But here we can see a turret flipping allegiance, and I believe this is going to help me out here. There you go. That guy made the unfortunate decision to run across, and he's dead. That's what happens. Yeah,
I mean, and it still is a really great looking game too, right? Like, I mean, that's what's always, you know, that's why I played the original Crysis, was beyond being a shooter, and I like shooters, was just that it was such a beautiful game, and in this game I still feel like that comes across all these years later.
Yeah, Crysis 3 looks very, very nice on PC. This is nearly highest settings. I feel like I should have been hitting him with that shotgun, but I guess was not so lucky. But yeah, Crysis 1, great shooter, lots of depth to the gameplay, but also totally a spectacle game.
Yes.
So we'll see how they handle that further on into Crysis 3. I mean, from what I've played so far, I really like what Crytek's done here. I think they've definitely made some improvements on some of the flaws that I thought were in Crysis 2. And yeah, I'm looking forward to playing more. I'm interested to see where the plot goes in this obviously forested version of New York. And for more on Crysis 3, keep checking back with IGN.